Welcome to my RF24 dribbling tutorial. Yes, I'm a grown man telling you how to play a Roblox game. If you have a problem with that, you can This video isn't going to go into much detail regarding combinations and React and all that sort of stuff. This is mostly just for new players, just understand what each tool does and when to use them and when not to use them, and what their basic functionality is. So for example, what you should actually be using a tool for instead of just using this tool just because it's there. So the most basic part of this game are just keybinds essentially, so I'm going to start going over them now. To start off with, we have dribble left click. You can hit it lightly like that, or you can hit it powerfully like that. To hit it lightly, you just walk into it. To hit it powerfully, you sprint into it. Simple. Next we have dribble Q, probably the most underutilized aspect on dribble tool. This tool is amazing and no one uses it because it goes over your head. And that's simply because people can't time it, unfortunately. This is how you're supposed to use the tool. You need to keep a distance from it when you hit it so it doesn't just fly over your head. Sometimes, you know, there's randomness involved where you can't really control that and it will fly over your head. I can't really replicate it because, like I said, it's random. But please use this tool because the unique part about this tool is that it goes up, like you can see. Whereas dribble left click, like I just did there, it goes on the ground, right? So if you do this, it's very hard for someone to tackle it like this because their foot is on the ground and the ball is in the air. You can completely bypass their tackle just by doing this. And as you'll see later, this tool is very, very helpful for combos. Next we have dribble R and T. Well, it's a pretty basic tool as you can see. It's just a body feint, you see. Dribble to the side, fake someone out maybe. Mask it with a step over, which I'll get onto later. And yeah, it's a very basic tool, not much explanation needed for it. The next tool I want to cover are stepovers. Now, stepovers are probably the most unique part of the dribble tool in the sense that they don't actually move the ball. As you can see, nothing's actually happening. However, this is where stepovers become very, very useful. And all high-level players, or high-level dribblers I should say, that I see dribble, they always use this tool because it masks where I'm going. If I just press R, I go to the left, right? But if I press step over, as I press R, you can't actually see me press the R key from the other perspective. Say I'm the defender, I'm watching you dribble, and you press R, I'm going to know where you're going just by your animation, how your body's moving. However, if you press the step over and then R, then you can't actually see where they're going. Stepovers aren't necessarily designed to be an aggressive tool in my opinion. Yes, you can use them in an aggressive way, but I actually see it more as a space creating skill move than an actual aggression based sort of I'm going to isolate you and beat you sort of skill move. Alright, what I mean by that is if a defender's coming at me, I'm just going to use this tool and go backwards and then make some space instead of just using this tool to mask my dribble going into them, because really this tool doesn't necessarily bait them out for long enough or as much time as you need to beat a player like other tools would. To summarize the stepovers, it's just a tool to mask what you're doing and to keep the defender always thinking what you're going to do next. You want to confuse the defender by using this tool, not necessarily take him on with this tool. The next tool is back heel. This tool is really good for changing direction quickly, as you can see. But be careful when you use it to tackle people, because if you miss the touch on it, you'll fall over and get ankled. Back heel is also really good because it moves you in the direction of the ball. So when you hit it, you can see that I'm not touching my keyboard here, I'm just moving with the ball. This is a really important mechanic because you can use this to your advantage when doing other combinations. The only other tool that I know in this game that moves you in the direction of the ball when you hit it is dribble G, which is the roll. The next tool we have is roll. Now, roll is really, really effective at tackling people. For some reason, this tool has incredible reach. In my eyes, this is more of a tackling tool than an actual dribbling tool. I don't particularly like using this tool to dribble because I don't like the way I'm forced to move in a certain direction when I hit it. I'll just use R and T. But For some other people, maybe your playstyles will benefit from using it more. I'm not too sure for this tool personally, but this tool is a really good way to tackle people from far away. I have no idea why it reaches that far anyway. Next we have Stop. Now, Stop is a really good tool against defenders that like to S-hold you. And what I mean by S-holding is defenders that don't want to commit to your tackle. So, say you're dribbling someone, they're just not going in for a tackle, they're just waiting until you run out of stamina or for you to make a mistake. The reason why this tool is so good against people who just keep on standing still and backing off is because all this tool does is just make them think where you're going to go next. Similar to step overs, but not in the exact same way. But it's just a very good tool to suddenly stop the ball, change direction. Stop the ball, change direction like that, you see. Keep on changing direction, stop, change direction. Maybe fake them out with another drag back or something. I've also noticed that when you press F at the right time, you can actually stop someone's react. So even if they hit the ball on their screen, they'll get a decline from their react. So they can't actually tackle you if you time the dribble F or the ball stop skill move correctly. Another fundamental tool are the chops, or as some people like to call them, drag backs. Now, chops are really effective at making space, similar to the back heel. Chops are really effective at making space because you can just endlessly spam them and just keep on continuously baiting your defender into space where they don't have to be. They're also really effective at just starting ground combos in general, and these ground combos can range from anything. And ultimately, the drag back shouldn't really be something you use to beat a player. They should just be something that you use to set up something to beat a player itself. And now I keep saying that all these tools are just used to set up a play or a dribble or a combination to beat a player, but you'll see what I mean when I make the combination video. The next two tools I will combine into one, but these are the flips. Now, these tools are definitely very unique compared to the rest of the tools. They're the only air-based dribbling tools in the game, and that would be a dribble Y and dribble N. My style doesn't really revolve around using flicks all that much because they put too much space between you and the ball. I mostly use them in public service for crowd control when I'm getting rushed by about 5 people at once who don't know how to actually play the game. However, when you're actually playing against good players, they're just gonna S-hold against you when you flick and just wait to chest it away from you like I just did. My personal suggestion is that you limit the use of flicks in general in this game, unless you're playing in a server of like idiots who are just rushing you constantly and not giving you any space, because then they actually work properly there. The issue with the flicks is that you can't actually chest it down after the first flick. You have to flick it twice, and normally by the time you hit the second flick, someone's already tackled you. Lastly, there's the fake shoot. Now, this tool is awful, just don't use this tool. Now, to wrap this video up, I'm just going to go over some bonus tools that aren't on the skills tool or the dribble tool exactly, as you can see on my hotbar, but they're actually on the tackle tool, and these are super useful for just controlling the ball. Up first, we've got tackle left click. Now, tackle left click is quite useful in this game for tackling, as you can tell, but it's also really good for just making space between you and your defender. Look how much space I can make between me and the person that would be behind me in the game. I would be careful using this tool though, because I see too many people using it at the wrong time to make space. Instead, they just end up hitting the tackle left click into their defender, and you know, if I'm defending that, I'm just gonna RNT it and go past you. Also, please remember, if you miss a tackle left click, you just get a massive slow debuff, so just be careful of that as well. Right, our last tool is the formidable chest tool. Now, this tool is the best air control tool in the game. In fact, it's the only air control tool really in the game. Unless you want to be fancy and use dribble click in the air while jumping, then be my guest, but the chest is king in this game. And what makes the chest so good is simply because of its hitbox. It is huge. Look what I can do with chest. I'm going to cover this combo in the actual combo dedicated video, but this combo is the most deadly combo in this entire game. So please use chest, stop using dribble click to touch the ball down. I mean, you have literally no advantage against someone who's using chest tool. Whenever I use chest tool in the box, I win it. I don't think there's a single time in a public server where I'll ever lose a moss battle. And when I mean by moss battle, I mean when the ball is coming from across. For example, I will show you here. When the ball is coming from across, there's a defender here, and we're both fighting over the ball, I'll chest it down and score. I know this video was pretty basic, and I'm sorry for that. I just wanted to make sure that everyone understands the basic mechanics of this game, for dribbling at least. So in the future videos, we'll be going over like combos and the react and whatnot. And also, make sure you're in bloody shift lock, like what I'm doing here. Like, if you're dribbling like this, I mean, come on, quit the game already, bro. This is just embarrassing. It's 2024, just press control and shift lock, for God's sakes. But anyway, thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and comment down what you want to see in the next video. Peace.